winners. They kickstart proceedings against a Vere team, of course, that have never lifted the top flight football competition in this here great land. The players are entering the park, the refereeing crew ahead of them. Both teams showing several changes from the last time we saw them. Vere have had, you can call it a bye week, because their game against the Tivoli Gardens did not go through because of issues concerning vaccination, and their squad shorn of several regular names because of that very issue. But there is enough of the experience here for Donovan Ducky to put together a side that he feels can hold its own against the teams in this level, starting today against Arnett Gardens. There's Francois Swaby, 33 years old, the senior man in this team, the big dog, and he'll have to do a lot of motivating today alongside offering the team the quality that he possesses in his boots. Let's hear what the referee has to say to both captains.
First and foremost, the game of football, all of you come out here to enjoy it, alright? Referees, we are here to officiate. Leave refereeing duties to the referees, alright? Captains, you are both in charge of your teams. Control your team, lead your team, alright? Final decision, all decision, leave to the referee. We have your FIFA, we have living football here, calling the here. FIFA it is? Yes, alright. I choose that side, the ball is yours then, alright? All the best now? Take off the last
yeah. Catcher, tell Ronaldo he need to pull on the Red Sox some more.
Father God, come to your presence as we just listen to guidance and divine. Help them.
So the Arnett Gardens boys posing for a quick photo, while on the other side the Vere boys are in a huddle talking ahead of the game. So the Arnett starting 11: William Price, Earl Simpson, Gerald Neal, Ronaldo Wright, Kimara Slowly, Marlon Martin, Chenoy Cunningham comes in, Romeo Guthrie retains his place as captain, Marlon Allen comes in, Ronaldo Cephas holds his ground as the star turn for Arnett this season, and Steve Clark gets a start this afternoon to Paul Teagut Davis.
Big start for Steve Clark. They'll be playing with a 4-3-3 formation. No Fabian Reid, no Kimani Arboin. So a bit stunted from what we normally see from Arnett Gardens up front.
Vere, the team that Ducky has picked based on the players he has available. Michael Panton in goal, only 19 years old. Anjay Gale, Kevin Graham, Alton Lewis, Trevance Salmon, Lamard Neal, Javere Brown, the captain today, Tyreek Harrison, Ramon Plummer, Dunstan Cohen, only 15 years old, more on him later, and the big dog, Francois Swaby.
4-2-3-1. Francois Swaby is actually in the starting lineup, but we're playing in a much deeper role because Cohen will be playing up front. Anjay Gale plays at centre back, so a lot of players playing out of their regular positions, and it will be interesting to see how they adapt.
So Kevin Graham is in the back. His experience will be crucial to organise more than anything else, and the peace knee being taken by the players. Did some checks to verify the youngest player in the history of top flight football in Jamaica. It's an impossible task. It's almost a fool's errand because record keeping at the top level in this country leaves a lot to be desired, and I feel no way saying that publicly. In fact, I can put it better, I make no compunction about saying that. Record keeping very, very poor, and you have to rely on the memories of some people to tell you who the youngest player in the history of top flight football in Jamaica is. It is around the 15-year-old mark, and so Dunstan Cohen keeping very elite company with his selection here by coach Donovan Ducky. Anyway, we're on the way, and Wright slips it to the other Marlon in the Arnett Gardens team, Allen, wearing number 30. Kevin Graham in the back, over to Alton Lewis, and Lewis, bad touch early, lack of concentration, early throw conceded to Arnett Gardens. So I know, and the world knows, that the youngest player in the English Premier League is Harvey Elliott from Fulham, who debuted at 16 years and 30 days. But in Jamaica, if there's no database for you to rely on, as we see Paul Teagut Davis, ex-Seba United striker, ex-outstanding national striker, coached Mount Pleasant, has been at Arnett Gardens before, calling the shots on the sidelines. And anytime now, Master Director will punch up Donovan Ducky, the ex-JDF private, who's made a big career in coaching. Half of the teams in this Premier League this season have been coached at one time by Donovan Ducky. Here's Cephas on the goal early. Cephas still running, but just lost the dribble at a crucial point. Overstrode maybe with the ball, and Anjay Gale happy to to knock it away from him. Kevin Graham, meanwhile, to Javier Brown, skipper on the day with Ricardo Campbell not available. Midfield to Plummer, who's been asked to play defensive midfield today based on the formation and the positions sent to us by the Vere United coaching staff. Graham's pass only finds Steve Clark on the right. Arnett, despite Arboin being on the bench, they have a lot of speed in the wide areas because Cephas is fast as a bullet. Make no mistake, Steve Clark is also rapid, so they don't lose anything in terms of pace in those wide area, in that wide area on the right. As we see Donovan look at there, you lose nothing when you, in terms of pace, when you have Clark replacing Arboin.
The only difference is I don't think Steve Clark is as quick with the ball, and I think that is where Cephas is excellent. With the ball, he is fast as well. Steve Clark, when the ball is pushed ahead, very quick, but with the ball, just not the same pace, even as an Arboin.
Point. Kevin Graham slipped as he made connection, and a bit nervy from Vere, even after less than 3 minutes. A couple. Alton Lewis miscontrolled the ball that ran into touch, and then Graham kicked a free kick into touch. You would expect this team cobbled together.
Just the thought of Francois Swebe having to play in the midfield is bizarre, especially with his movement. Has the experience, but doesn't really have those kind of legs, and already you've seen that there's been a switch. Francois Swebe has actually reverted to that sole position up front, which I think is a better move.
Or maybe it is that the formations written on paper by Duki was intended to fool the opposition. I wouldn't put that past him at all. Here's Steve Clark in possession. The cross comes in, and easy for goalkeeper Michael Panton, as we told you, only 19 years old, fresh out of schoolboy football, and Duki has had to rely on the youth. So the contrast, one end of the continuum, a Cohen who's in possession now, 15 years old, and Swebe, who is more than twice his age. Clark gets back to help slowly, and it's back to Gerald Neal. Simpson in central defense, and Ronaldo Wright. A few substitute appearances for him so far this season. He gets the start today because Ajuma Johnson not fit enough to contribute from the start.
And that's another thing that might hurt Arnett Gardner's going forward, because that is where Juma Johnson is really good with that talented left foot. Very offensive player. They're probably stronger defensively though, Arnett, today.
But to be fair to Johnson, he's defended well. But the point you're making is valid. But because I've been watching him, how he has defended, knowing that his inclination is to attack.
He has improved.
Yeah. And remember, this is his first season playing in this position in the league, so.
Still don't like him there. When I think of overlapping wing backs, they're natural runners down the wings, looking to get the balls into the box. He's not really wired that way, but anyhow.
Early cross.
I guess part of being a professional sportsman as well is the ability to adapt to situations. So as you are saying, he is improved and adapted somewhat.
And Ajuma would say, well, why is Mr. Taylor giving me a hard time after just 4 games in my new position? It's just 4 games. I've been a winger and an attacker all my Premier League career, and for all of my time as a schoolboy player. So just give me some time to grow into the role. Fact is, he will tell you, and he'll be right, that his contribution has not cost Arnett Gardner any goals this season. So that's a good place to start with, trying to be solid as a left back.
I like to see him high up the pitch.
Yeah.
I think that left foot is way too talented to be there, and does better when he cuts into central roles, which is not asked of him as a wing back. But anyhow,
Brown forward to Swebe. Swebe has Harrison for support. Swebe trying to work the angle for a shot. He does, but he's blocked by Simpson, and Harrison leapt forward, got there ahead of Wright, but in the end it's an easy take for William Price.
A bit surprising that Tyreek here gets the start instead of Tyrese,
yeah,
who we would have seen in the last couple of games with number 17. Got a start and came off the bench in another game, but this is his brother. And very pacey as well, agile.
Seems to have been a bad landing. Just maybe twisting the ankle a little bit. Still hobbling is Tyreek Harrison. But he's young and the day is warm, so he'll be fine in short order.
And if it's anywhere that we've seen Arnett Gardens look susceptible, it's been through the middle, that central defensive region, which is actually where you would expect Vere United to look to attack because of Francois Swebe. So maybe that might just be an avenue to hurt them through that central zone. And going right through their spine, you think of Arnett Gardens, we've discussed this before, that the need for a creative player, they're really lacking that kind of player. Maybe a McCarthy or a Rose would have been really good for them. And
Martin gets Clark going. Clark forward, trying to find Allen. Good win by Slowly, back with Clark. Now Cunningham, all the way, Neal, all the way back to Simpson, across the right. Allen, heavy touch by him, was trying to take it, one touch turn. Maybe saying that it bounced too high, caught the ankle and went out for the throw.
There's Francois Swebe, 92 goals in almost 250 appearances at the Premier League level, and as you said before, George, a 15-year-old to partner with, less than half his age.
Neal goes long, trying to pick out Cephas, and he does so. Can he gather? What can he do from here, Cephas? Bursts inside Cephas. Still Cephas going, and he goes down in the box. Referee says corner.
He was looking for that Cephas, and rightfully no penalty. But again, you see there, Judge, just what he can do with the ball as well. Very quick, good footwork. A little nibble by Gale, who playing in a centre-back role, a little bit unusual for him this season. Did it as a schoolboy.
Here's Guthrie. We'll look to fire this one to the back post. He does. The header goes up from Gerald Neal. The header again from Simpson this time. And he puts it over from a promising position, the centre half. Staying up front for the corner kick. And the second header was won by him. And he couldn't direct it goalwards.
Really good creation by Romeo Guthrie. And that's what you look to see. Lovely ball into the box. He's got to score from there, Simpson. Unmarked, great ball by Guthrie, using the breezy conditions to his advantage, and Simpson has got to score. He's just got to score from there. Unmarked, lots of time, point blank, got to hit the target.
So the first miss of the afternoon, chalked up to Arnett Gardens, their centre half. Not finishing when he ought to. Alton Lewis screaming in play. It looks to be Ramon Plummer who got nailed. Well, Lewis it was, who got nailed in that clearance. And the referee says free kick.
What a miss that is for Arnett Gardens. From a corner, you've got to be looking to score from there. There's Simpson again. So saying, whether you're a centre back or a centre forward, you'd be taking that kind of opportunity every day of the week.
Yeah.
On the 6-yard line, free, nice height. Wow.
Graham. Robbed by Allen, but back is back. Allen beats Graham to it, and now it runs free to Guthrie. Forward to Cephas on the left foot. It didn't steady. The ball didn't sit well for him, and he wasn't steady himself on his feet. Thought about for a moment, a split second, to lash it with the left foot and didn't bother. Arnett win a throw, but that was another opportunity.
Good midfield work by Guthrie. That's what we've been asking to see by the midfielder in the centre of the park.
Just clips it behind him. It's headed away by Alton, who is only off Martin, who hunts it down and retrieves. Still Martin needs some help. Back to Slowly. And the flick around the corner from Guthrie was to nobody. It's out for a goal kick.
Commentators curse. Well, yeah, that was a horrible pass by Guthrie. But the two before, very good, showing that his vision is really intact. Or should I say is really working so far in the early points. And that's necessary for Arnett Gardens. I think that's really been an area of their game this season that has been lacking. Just the ability to free the likes of Cephas and Arboin when he has played, and Fabian Reed. And that's just the role of Guthrie. He's really has got to do better. And so far in the first 10 or 11 minutes, it's looked promising.
Allen. Guthrie met by a robust challenge from Kevin Graham, who won the ball. Leaves Guthrie on the ground, and this ball played forward to Swaby, and Price off his line quickly, acting as a sweeper keeper. Sends it long, it's out for a throw to Vere.
Right idea from Vere. Attack along the ground, through the spine. That is Arnett Gardens' weakness.
See the challenge from Kevin Graham, crunching in, but got all ball, as he has the ball to deal with once again. Doesn't do it efficiently this time. Allen in to the penalty box, met by Gale. And the ball is now with Neil, the ex-Arnett Gardens man. Turns away from Cunningham, but can't get away from Allen, who took a nibble, and Gale seems to have a foot problem. May have caught some studs on the toe.
We really saw the difference in Vere United in the last game when Neil didn't play. Really lacked creativity and energy through that middle. He's an important component in terms of getting Swaby more touches on the ball up front. So very important that he stays on. Did get an injury in the first game of the season, then had to come off the bench in the second. So they will certainly be hoping, Donovan Ducky and company, that he remains on and it's not too bad.
Yeah. So the right foot, looks like Allen, well, Martin stepped on his foot just as he was challenging for that ball, Lamar Neal. And it was very quick to get rid of the right boot.
It was a lovely turn by him as well. Already scored this season, Neil. So instrumental in the forward plays of Vere United, who have really struggled. Just 2 goals this season. Worst scoring record, second best defensive record.
Yep. Typical Vere stats.
Yeah. 2 goals on the season, just 3 conceded.
So Lewis will have this throw. They're down to 10 men Vere because Neil is getting his boot back on. Long ball down. Gale, favourite to get here, and he competently heads it back to his goalkeeper, Panton. Kevin Graham calls him for it, the senior defender. Back to Panton.
Generally, it's a big deal for Donovan Ducky when Ricardo Campbell, his captain, doesn't start, and Anjay Gale has been asked to do the job.
Bad decision by Gale, and he's left by Cephas in the dust. The ball comes across, there's nobody there. Alton Lewis turned his behind for a corner with Steve Clark lurking, but Clark was too far away from the action, and Cephas looks across and says you should have been closer. Here's Clark now, bursting into the box, looking for a pass, finds Allen off the crossbar from the outside of the right boot, and the flag goes up for offside. But before that, Martin Allen improvised really well. The outside of the right foot, crashing that shot off the crossbar.
Yeah, lovely toe poke. Great burst of speed yet again from Cephas. Gale left behind yet again. And just spoke about him coming in, but here's the attempt. Looked like a toe punch attempt which caught the keeper off guard, and certainly would have been beaten had that been a few inches lower.
Yep. Swaby, can he keep this one in? Yes, but only for Simpson to play it back to his defensive colleague Gerald Neal. Neal gets the call from right to Cephas, back to right. Oh, but almost was a bad pass, but it works out. Cunningham under pressure, being hunted down by Javier Brown. Finds his way into the midfield to Martin. It's away from Plummer for the moment. This is Cunningham for Arnett Gardens. Slowly. Bad pass. Swaby gets here before Cunningham. Vere on the attack. Cunningham seems to stepped in and blocked that pass that was intended for Neil. Plummer, his touch was awful just now, Ramon Plummer. Kevin Graham with a sliding tackle, but only gives it to Steve Clark for Arnett Gardens down this right hand side. Clark versus Graham. Needs help, takes the help from Slowly. Martin all the way back to Simpson. will come this side to right. Then Cephas showing for it. Right goes inside though, looking to find Allen, and a good tackle by Javier Brown. Neal can't get there, the ball was too long. Cunningham under pressure and loses out. This is Harrison, the youngster. Back to his captain, who goes for the early cross. It hangs in the air and William Price comes and punches. Fresh ear kick by Brown, but it works out. He got it back. Neal under pressure. Salmon. Early cross met by Gerald Neal. And the call for relaxation reverberating around the Arnett players, or among them at least. Allen gets it possession, needs some help. Cephas on this left hand side bursts into the box past Salmon. Cephas still going, still Cephas byline, cuts it back into the arms of goalkeeper Panton, and the assistant referee said it had run out of play.
Yeah, second touch a little bit too heavy from Cephas. The left foot not working so well today, so the cross as well was very weak. Didn't get his weight transfer right at all, Cephas. On a couple of occasions now, but certainly has the better of the Vere United defence in terms of pace.
Strong challenge by Wright, and it worked out for him. Allen has had a lot of touches so far, the replacement striker. This is Steve Clark now, has also seen a lot of the ball. Slowly gives him the overlapping moment. He comes inside to Guthrie. His touch wasn't good, and Anjay Gale won out and sets Ramon Plummer. Well, I thought he was going, but he took a turn and is still in the defensive third for Vere. Forward now to Harrison. Miscommunication with Swaby, who wanted played forward. Harrison was playing it to feet. Meanwhile, to feet is where Ronaldo Cephas has this one. Salmon goes across to contend, and Salmon blocks it. Good defending for the moment. Cephas, can he get around him? Has the beating of Salmon for pace, but not on that occasion.
Too predictable by Ronaldo Cephas. Just maybe needs to change it up a bit. They know every time that he's going towards the byline. Maybe just needs to drop the shoulder and cut inside instead and let a shot fly, just to keep the defenders guessing. Important to disturb the balance of your marking defender.
Harrison's header, very well done by Simpson. Under pressure from Swaby, but just a little nudge with the shoulder to ease the big man away.
Maybe that's more something the experience of a Fabian Reid would do.
Yep.
Just to unsettle his defenders, which is why he scores so many goals as well.
Arnett dominating this game. This is Clark. Inside to Martin on the left foot. Looked threatening from our angle, but I'm sure it wasn't from the goalkeeper's angle.
Movement a little bit better from Arnett Gardens, finding those little pockets of space. Just the touches need to be a little bit better, George.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah, controls a little bit heavy. That first touch, the setup for the shot, heavy as well, so it forces you to be out of position.
Brown fires it forward. Can Swaby chase that one down? He couldn't. Neal beat him to it. It's in the midfield with Brown under pressure from Guthrie and loses out. Cunningham forward to his captain. Quick pass to Martin, who frees Steve Clark down that right hand side. Has two men forward with him. This is Romeo Guthrie. The one-time shot never got any elevation, and it was blocked anyway. It's out for a corner kick.
Still like that move. Good movement by Guthrie. Scuffed the shot badly, but I think the idea was spot on.
Paul Teagat Davis up off the Arnett Gardens bench, willing his boys to press home their superiority. This is Steve Clark with the corner kick. It's flat. Doesn't beat young Cohen at the near post. Well, not even near post. The first line of defense. Couldn't clear it. Right, told to go line. So he comes line to Gerald Neal, who had a heavy touch and is robbed by the youngster Harrison and then hauled him back. And referee Mason says free kick to Vere United. So, bearing out the claim I have made that Arnett have dominated, the numbers confirming that 60% possession the team in red and black controlling so far in this game. Plummer was stretching in as he was losing the dribble and left some studs in on Romeo Guthrie. Ooh. It hurts from here.
Yeah. He's up quickly, so that's good. But
he gets the call though. He gets the free kick. He stepped in on Guthrie, but he gets the free kick. Referee saying he was fouled before that play, which is why he was off balance. Anyway, it's the first water break of the day, of the game, in the 22nd minute, and the players will refresh themselves. Reminder: these conditions are tough, very hot out there, 30 degrees Celsius or a little bit more than that. And even though there's a strong breeze, from our vantage, the breeze is comfortable. Not so much for the players down on the pitch, who are under the full glare of the sun, don't have the benefit of shelter as we do. So much change the Arnett Gardens team, and much change the Vere United team. Both teams showing changes for different reasons. Vere because of what their coach diplomatically said were administrative issues, and Arnett because some men injured, not fit enough for the squad, others with knocks, not quite good enough to start. If you were Dookie, what would you be telling your boys now, Chris?
A little bit more solid defensively, better use of the ball. I think they've given away the ball when coming out of their defensive third a little bit too much, so a little bit careless. Just need to, take better care of the ball in terms of possession. As you said, without the captain, that leader in the back line, so young Anjay Gale asked to do that job. A role which he did play some of the time when he was in schoolboy football at Garvey Museo. Played in that defensive midfield role as well. But yeah, I just think they would like to work that ball out a little bit more, and Neil needs to get a little bit more of the ball so that he can thread the lines for that man, Francois Swaby. 92 goals in a Premier League career, and hasn't been able to add to it so far this season. There's young Swaby talking to young Cohen, 15 years of age. Hasn't had a bad start so far. Swaby has been starved of touches in this first half. I guess nothing unusual for Vere United, who have struggled to score goals so far this season, just 2. And we're in match week 5. Neil and Brown, the only scorers so far for them this season. And the Javier Brown goal came from the spot. I must say though, George, Arnett Gardens going forward, even though they haven't had Reid, they haven't had Arboyne, Clark has been doing a pretty good job on the right in terms of adding width to them. And Allen has looked promising, he's hit the crossbar as well. So their changes up front still look promising, they still look dangerous.
Yeah. Paul Davis was saying in the pre-match discussion that we just need to take chances. We're going to get chances. So no matter how good Vere are defensively, we're going to get chances. But if we don't get them, then they're going to look like they're brilliant defending. We just have to take chances. Salmon loses out to Cephas, and he's gone, the number 7 for Arnett Gardens. Runs by Kevin Graham as well in space. Cephas, can he find the cross? Checks in, wants it on the right foot, and the cross is weak. Salmon went back into a good position to effect the block, and Arnett have to start all over again their attack. Slowly breaking forward. Allen, nice flick to Guthrie. Guthrie out wide to Steve Clark. Clark only has one in the box to aim for, and he bangs it off the sensitive area for Alton Lewis, who kind of sees the funny side of that and trots away. And Clark takes the corner kick early, but too early, says the assistant referee.
Well, not only that, it was out of the area from Clark.
It's good now, yeah. This is Cunningham, blocked by Neil. Cohen, no foul on the play. And then Ramon Plummer and Cunningham clashing. Cunningham thought the free kick was his, and he gets the yellow card for something he said to referee Mason. Would not have been booked for the challenge, but he decided to get lippy, and the referee gave him a yellow card.
One of those players who has come into the squad for this one, Janai Cunningham. Big presence within the middle of the park. Here was that.
Alton Lewis fires this one forward for Vere. Cohen, his header, looking for Neil of the Lamard variety. Swaby does well to win it for Vere. Needs support. Plummer, and he gives it away to Martin. Martin under pressure from Plummer. Back to slowly. And they were trying to save a corner, which they didn't save.
Slowly, early, slowly.
Not clever defending from the Arnett Gardens boys at all.
No, and the touches generally for both teams have left a lot to be desired. And one of the good things about these last couple seasons up here is that you certainly can't complain about the surface in terms of true bounce. So it's really a lack of technique and not a fault of the facility.
With the corner kick for Vere, and it's awful on the floor for the most part, and it's swept away for a throw. This match week 5 has been rather curious. We were averaging 3 goals per game, but match week 5 would have dragged down that average if the trend holds, because there's been a dearth of goals so far in the match week. We had 2 games yesterday. We had 3 goals in those 2 games. On Saturday it wasn't much better, and this looks like another day of struggle. We've gone very well so far, so you're not hearing me complain. I'm just making an observation as Trevor Salmon lines up this free kick for Vere United. 6 men in white shirts waiting in the 18-yard box. It swings, doesn't beat Romeo Guthrie, one of the smallest men on the pitch, as the first line of defense pour from the free kick from Vere United. They go all the way back. Alton Lewis with his goalkeeper Panton. Salmon on the chest. Waited too long to make up his mind, and Cephas made up his mind for him by stripping him of it. Arnett Gardens come through. Steve Clark on the right. He's seen a lot of the ball, the winger. Drives by Alton Lewis into the box. Steve Clark! And Panton gets a hand on it. A weak hand, it must be said, but Salmon cleans it up. So no danger from that play. Javier Brown sends it forward into space, but young Cohen won't get there. Cunningham back to Clark once again. Arnett Gardens raiding a lot down the right hand side of their attack. Slowly gives Clark the overlapping run, and is used now. What can Slowly do? Can he find a cross? It's hit too hard, and it's wayward behind for a goal kick to Vere.
Both wingers doing very well for Arnett Gardens. Sharing the width well. Clark on the right, Cephas on the left. But unfortunately, more times than not, the deliveries into the box haven't been the best. That was a strike by Clark from a very acute angle. Would have been going wide. Panton wasn't taking any chances, as you said. George, very lucky that he didn't play it into a dangerous area as well for a tap-in. Yeah, because that was comfortably going wide of the right upright.
Panton's goal kick doesn't pass the half line. And Allen got hit by Gale, and off the ball Alton Lewis goes down holding his face. I didn't see him being struck a blow in the face. Alton Lewis, not one of those players to roll around and make a meal of contact. So if he's down, it must be because he's hurt.
Yeah, not sure what happened there either. Didn't see it. So if there was a hand, it was skillfully done.
Yep, here's Donovan Ducky, the point we made earlier. There are 12 teams in this Jamaica Premier League, and at one time or the other, he would have coached 5 of them. This is what happened. This is Allen coming with the follow through. Yes, that's an elbow.
Oh.
And we're a VAR operative in this game, and they looked at that, then Marlon Allen would have been sent for an early shower. It missed the assistant referee, missed the referee, and Alton Lewis has the right to feel aggrieved because Marlon Allen got away with one. That was a blatant forearm / elbow.
We're 2 wrong because Allen certainly would have been sent on a date.
Yep.
Had that been seen.
Anyway, we resume. 32nd minute. Tough conditions for football, as most of the early games in the match weeks have been. But we've seen some good football from teams. We've seen better from Arnett Gardens so far this season. Neil Harrison giving him the outlet, but Neil doesn't like that pass. He wants to go to Swaby, but the pass lacked direction.
Well, miscommunication. I want to see more of Neil on the ball for Vere United, though. He's been really out of the play.
So just now Cunningham was trying to find Cephas with a long pass, and you could see the frustration on Paul Teagat-Davis over on the bench. He just threw his hands on his hips and shook his head, wondering what that was. Harrison to Brown, Brown to Plummer, being closed down by the pressing Marlon Martin, pressing on Jay Gale. Gale barely gets it away. Cohen to Lewis. Brown wants it and gets it. Over the top for Cohen. Not a bad idea from Javier Brown.
Yeah, nice run by Cohen as well. Just a little bit too central with the pass, Brown, but certainly a good idea.
Here's Clark, who's caused Vere a lot of trouble down the left-hand side of their defense around Alton Lewis, as if he isn't there. Clark is into open space. He comes with the early cross, but it's misdirected and wayward behind for a goal kick after good work. Steve Clark really did himself no justice with the quality of that pass, or the lack thereof.
Good speed yet again. You spoke about that at the start of the game, and using it on the flank. But as I said, when they have come close to the 18-yard box, they just lack a little bit of patience on it, Gardens. Sometimes they just don't need to force the pass. Just take your time, look for that pass maybe on the top of the 18 and work it around. Again, it was forced, and even if that had gone into the box, there was no one there to help
Cephas,
or to use.
Comes inside Graham. Oh, cuts Graham inside and out. Cephas with the shot! What a goal! Arnett Gardens' talismanic number 7 does it again! Another fantastic solo effort! Kevin Graham went to confront him, but like a salt shaker, he shook him left, then shook him right, put it on the right foot, and curled it beyond Michael Panton in goal. Oh my word! That's a beautiful goal from Arnett Gardens, river-stopping number 7.
3 on the season for Ronaldo Cephas. Just what we spoke about, the need to drop the shoulder, get the defenders off balance. So he goes left, goes right. Graham doesn't know where he is, and Panton a bit unsighted as well by the shot. Look at this here, good skill, turns Graham around. There's no recovery for him, and yeah, Panton
When you said it, he was unsighted, so he saw it late. And the hand he could get to it, did get a hand, but the hand wasn't strong enough. And the 19-year-old keeper could only really help it into his goal, helping it up into the roof of the net. But yeah, that's what Ronaldo Cephas does. Guthrie runs on to this loose pass in the Vere defense, and his pass is poor, though Angie Gale cuts out easily. Vere have their defense breached. That's not a usual thing for any commentator to say. Harrison, can he get by? Right, wins it. The young man back to Javier Brown. 3 men to aim for in the box, and the cross is woeful. Didn't get it out from under his feet, and he knows that he made a hash of the cross. The captain for the day for Vere United.
Yeah, it's been the story of them so far. Misplaced passes, bad touches. Arnett Gardens haven't been at 100% either, but certainly a deserved lead. Hit the crossbar on one occasion, have come close on a couple others. And yeah, that man who was once Jamaica's leading goal scorer, Paul Teagat-Davis.
Yep.
Knows a lot about goal scoring.
Yep.
And he would have been proud of that moment from Cephas. just using his skill and pace to unsettle the Vere United defence, and almost used Allen, his teammate, as a mask for Panton, and bent it around him into the far corner.
Here's Javier Brown, forward to Harrison. First touch, not bad, but he ended up losing it. Guthrie picks up the captain for Arnett Gardens to Martin. Slowly now. Clark bouncing on the sidelines, on the touchline, wanting the pass to come to him, but slowly turned away from him. Simpson to right. Right's pass is poor. Picked off. Neal. Oh, trying to send Swaby in. Gets another chance. Oh, Simpson steps forward to thwart that. Kevin Graham beating Allen in the air. And Plummer for Vere to Lewis. Lewis goes down under the challenge. No foul, says the referee. And Janoy Cunningham, a rush of blood. Don't know who he was passing to. And it's a throw for Vere.
Well, the intention was for Martin, but as you said, misplaced.
The thing about the goal, though, almost like what you see in basketball, where sometimes a defender is struggling with an attacker on the opposing team. Kevin Graham saw someone struggling with Cephas play after play, and Kevin Graham went from centre back to right back to challenge Cephas, to tackle him, to shackle him. But he was shaken and stirred by the Arnett Gardens number 7, who then went on to curl it far enough from the goalkeeper for the goal, the opening goal of the game.
Still need better passing from the red and black, though. A lot of inaccuracy.
And I can tell you, Teagat Davis is dishing out the instructions from the bench, not happy with what he's seen despite his team being 1-0 up. Still barking instructions at his boys because, as you say, Chris,
the quality.
Yeah, the passing really, really poor.
But even the midfield, in terms of making themselves available, the angles dropping off, a lot of times they have been left wanting. Guthrie and Cunningham need to do better. It's constant movement. Even if you're not going to receive the ball, you move to create space for your teammate, and I think they have been guilty of that. That is a lot better now in the build-up, and look at the result.
Martin forward to Allen. Can Allen get there? He gets it before Panton, but the touch was too heavy. Touch just a tad too heavy. Nice approach though, and just a little toe poke with the left foot to get it around Panton. But then that white line that he doesn't like suddenly appeared prominent in his vision, and he knew it was into touch.
Panton was lucky. Good move by Arnett Gardens on that occasion. The midfielders very busy, just moving into the pockets. One touch, two touch passing. Almost resulted in a second goal. That's the idea. Harrison
deemed to have fouled right, shoving the back of the Arnett Gardens left back.
And I can tell you, the assistant coach of Arnett Gardens, Eric Rademakers, that is the kind of football he loves to see coming out of the Dutch system.
Yes.
That total football, that the movement, you know, players constantly running into position, even out of position, to create a position for a teammate.
Yeah. Just heard Kevin Graham in the Vere defense just saying, come on team, let's do some talking, let's talk to each other. He's not convinced that they communicate well. He's convinced the communication isn't good enough, and the veteran trying to get them to talk to each other more clearly and to assert what they want their teammates to do. Cephas forced to go all the way back to Simpson. They didn't want that pass, but was forced to take it because the movement to his right, to his left, wasn't good enough. Simpson from the back. It's a poor pass. Aiming for Guthrie, aiming for Cephas, aiming for neither in real terms. Harrison for Vere. But he's robbed of it. And Cunningham just stops this from going out for a corner. Guthrie exchanging passes with Martin. Oh, Steve Clark can get to this. This is Steve Clark. Is this tooted for Arnett Gardens? Good save by Panton, and the follow-up by Vernon Allen. The replacement striker gets his goal. Clark's shot warmed the palm of Panton, and then Allen dived forward to make the connection into the unguarded net. May have hurt himself in the process. Well, definitely hurt himself in the process, but it's 2-0 for Arnett Gardens.
Marlon Allen gets the first of the season. impressive play. Love the energy by him as well, and the anticipation. It was a Paul Davis kind of finish, a poacher's finish, and excellent by Marlon Allen. Wearing that number 30 has come in for Fabian Reed. Look at the strike there from Clark. It was a good one, and Allen put himself in the position to score before the defense line, and it was a weak challenge by Graham in any case. And Allen putting his body on the line. It was difficult for Panton, right at him, and couldn't sort out his hands. Allen sorted out his head.
You know, that ball from midfield from Guthrie, which broke the lines. How Alton Lewis didn't cut out that pass, I'm not going to be sure, because we all thought it was an intercepted pass. Steve Clark also thought the pass was intercepted, but then realized that, oh, the defender hadn't taken it. And then it was easy for him. There's no way Alton Lewis would have caught up with Steve Clark in that race. A dead run to the loose ball. And Allen gets the congratulations from Cunningham. This is Dookie. He has some real problems on his hand, having a conference with his team. Not usual for Vere United to concede 2 goals in a game, let alone a half. This is what happened. Well, before this, you'd have seen that Alton Lewis was really at fault, because the pass from Guthrie from deep, which broke the lines, Alton Lewis, how he didn't intercept, I'm still trying to figure out what happened.
Well, he panicked, George. I think that was a mistake. That was actually a ball that he probably could have controlled.
But I expected him to control it.
Yeah, tried to swing almost to clear it, which was very unnecessary. There was no, he actually wasn't under a lot of pressure, because Clark was wide of him.
He wasn't on his shoulder. He was there or thereabouts without really pressuring him, and
could have taken it in his stride and actually played it back to the goalkeeper if necessary. But yeah, it was poor defending, and as I said, too many changes to the defense line of Vere. This is probably the weakest their defense would have been all season in terms of looking at them from an opposition's perspective. Sure. Yeah.
Ball over the top for Cohen. Cohen gets the cross, and it's met by the head of Gerald Neal, who needed to have been there. And they're showing some signs of life as an attacking force in this game. The Arnett defense has had a really easy time of it in this game.
Even a situation like this where they have a corner, no Lumpton there, no Campbell, two excellent headers of the ball. They are out, so even their potency from the corner situation is not as good. Yes, you have Francois Swaby.
Cross comes, the corner kick comes in rather, and it's met by Gerald Neal, and Cephas has some space to work with, but he's going to go for the cross, the booming crossfield pass, looking for Clark. Lewis does well this time. One bounce, and he clears his lines, gives his defense time to organize. So this is what happened. So this is, you're going to see Guthrie. This is Guthrie. Look at this pass. Alton Lewis. Oh my goodness. You can't do that at this level. That's criminal defending.
He actually didn't try to clear it. He was trying to control it and just
criminal
made a mockery of it.
Yeah. Criminal defending. Gale clears his lines with purpose. Swaby, can he take this? Beaten to it by Gerald Neal. Bad touch by the youngster Cohen. Graham there this time to prevent that pass from finding the lurking Cephas. 2 minutes to be added. Well, we're into that period of 2 minutes added on. Cephas against Salmon once again. Back to right. Cephas sends right going. Can he keep it in? Nah, too tight for him. I'm starting to think that Ronaldo Cephas, Chris, regardless of which fullback is facing him down, is unplayable in those wide areas. Because I'm thinking of the quick fullbacks in this league, the dogged defenders, those who are strong and have pace and that good combination. And I don't see anybody who can live with him. Allen wins that header for Arnett.
Yeah, well, apart from the raw pace, he has quick feet, so it makes it even more difficult, because you don't want to misplace the tackle and concede a penalty or something like that. or even a tough free kick on the edge of the box. Well, another aggressive situation taking place, and Brown is on a yellow card, isn't he?
Well, it was actually Steve Clark who got that for the aggressive clearing of the ball when the referee had signaled that the ball was dead. So the referee didn't like that, and Clark picks up a needless booking. And I hear Paul Teagat Davis here telling his defenders that they're getting carried away sometimes. Getting carried away. Actually, it was the wrong man booked, because Cunningham was the one who booted it away.
And he's on a yellow card.
So he's very lucky, Janoy Cunningham. Very, very lucky boy. Maybe the hairstyle fooled referee Mason.
I think that's why Clark just accepted it.
Anyway, Alton Lewis pumps this free kick into the box. It hangs on the breeze. Price came with 2 fists. Kevin Graham kicked it into the ground more than anything else. And now Clark. Pass blocked by Lewis. Lewis goes down. The Arnett boys the men on the Arnett Gardens bench humouring Alton Lewis as he fell in front of them. And the fourth official chiding them, telling them not to get involved in the play because they're not on the field. Lewis has this free kick wide. Can Vere pinch one back before the half-time whistle goes? This probably is the last act of this first half. Ball pumped in, and Price, favourite to catch this. He punches one fist and Cunningham sends it further away. And referee Mason says throw. Or is it corner? Looks to be a corner kick. 5-6 men in white shirts now in the box. Ken Lamar need to find one of them. Can't beat the first defender, who is right. Back in by Neil. Swaby with the header! Straight at Price. And then anyway, there was a blatant push off from the big striker. Referee Christopher Mason has seen enough of this first half. A first half that meandered between ordinary and sublime. Sublime because of Ronaldo Cephas's goal, the first goal of the game. And then Arnett Gardens to assert their superiority over a weakened Vere team, short of their usual pieces. Marlon Allen, the replacement striker, coming up trumps with that second goal to give Arnett Gardens, put some daylight between them and Vere United. So at the interval, it's Arnett Gardens 2, Vere United 0. back with us at the UWIJFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence half-time. Arnett Gardens leading Vere United 2-0. Goals by Ronaldo Cephas and Marlon Allen, 6 minutes apart. Let's review the action from the first half. Referee Chris Mason in charge today. And that header at the back post from Gerald Neal. And Simpson, the centre half, missed his chance. That was Allen crashing that one off the crossbar. And then Ronaldo Cephas picks this up. Kevin Graham comes across to confront him. Drives at Graham, cuts him one time, cuts him a second time, and then goes for the curler. Unsighted, the goalkeeper Panton was by Cephas's fellow forward, Marlon Allen. And didn't get a strong enough hand to it, saw it late. And he could only help it into the net for 1-0. That was in the 35th minute. Cephas celebrates his third goal, and then this pass from Romeo Guthrie. Poor from Alton Lewis in trying to control. Steve Clark's shot was firm. Panton's hand wasn't firm enough to turn it away, and in any event he turned it into the wrong place, right into the path of Marlon Allen, whose task was simple: just make a good connection and he'd get a goal. And that he did. Marlon Allen gets his chance because of some injuries in the Arnett Gardens forward line, and he takes full advantage. 2-0 to Arnett Gardens. The numbers from the first half: there were 7 shots on target, 6 by the Arnett Gardens team, 5 fouls by Arnett, no fouls by Vere, 2 yellow cards, both to Arnett Gardens players, and Arnett had 60% possession in the first half. Let's recap what happened on Sunday, match week 5.
A drawn result here, but a very fighting effort between these two teams. Mount Pleasant in white starting off briskly, with Daniel Green trying to go down the left side there, but it's Dun Holden who had a lot of the play in the first half, and Dean Andre Thomas there with a strike. It was blocked initially. The second ball to Kimoni Bailey, who drags it wide with a left-footed effort. Kevin Lane at central defence here with Mount Pleasant idling with the ball, robbed of the ball by Nicoy Christian, but Kimoni Bailey can't get by Ladale Ritchie here, who hurts himself with making the challenge. Devontae Campbell, the 18-year-old for Mount Pleasant, being confronted there by McPherson. A couple of step-overs. His powerful shot to the near post, not well handled by Damien Hatt, but no Mount Pleasant player close enough to make them pay for it. Strong strike there on goal by Daniel Green, and the rebound to Campbell, who can't finish. Again, Damien Hatt unable to hold the ball well first time. Here is Green's strike though. Harvey taking the return play from Daniel Green, who again makes the goalkeeper Damien Hatt work, and here is his goal. Daniel Green, confronted by Shaquille Dyer, gets by Fabian McCarthy and powers the ball into the back of the net. Powerful strike there into the roof of the net. Damien Hatt is close, but can't even stick his hand out. And that was the go-ahead goal for Daniel Green, his 4th of the season. And trying to respond here at Forward Bygrave. He chased this ball relentlessly in the final second of the match, or final 10 seconds of the match. Just gets the ball away from Joel Powell, gets there before Powell, and just uses the outside of his boot to steer the ball past Akhil Clark in goal for Mount Pleasant. 2 top 6 teams here battling for 3 points. Nicholson, the man in charge, with a whistle. Tevin Scott with a right-footed effort, but Fino Bartlett, who was outstanding in goal for Cavalier, got in the way. Here he is again getting in the way of this Tariq Jimenez effort. Cavalier on the advance. Atkinson, the 19-year-old, with a strike on goal, but Amal Knight gets behind it easily. Here comes Trayvon Reed. The rebound from goalkeeper Bartlett is deflected, as was that long-range effort. Tevin Scott from 7 yards with a headed effort over the top. Trayvon Reed again finds himself with some space, but denied by Bartlett's brilliant work. Shalil Thomas has an opportunity here, but drags the ball wide. Tyrese Williams, the substitute coming on, doesn't beat Fina Bartlett. Neither does Timur Lewis. Here comes the effort from Dwayne Atkinson. And the rebound falls well for Campbell, whose left-footed strike finds Amal Knight's left hand, but he can't keep it out. Really good early work there by Dwayne Atkinson to keep the pressure on. But the curling left-footed strike there from the 19-year-old Kenroy Campbell. His first goal in Premier League football is the difference between these two teams. Cavalier FC 1, Harbourview 0. The defending champions getting 3 points.
The big competition, the UEFA Champions League, back on Sportsmax from Tuesday. PSG Real Madrid available on the Sportsmax app from 3 p.m. on Tuesday, 4 p.m. if you're outside Jamaica. Then Inter Milan and Liverpool, 3:30 p.m. outside Jamaica, live Wednesday on Sportsmax. So there'll be a big pre-game show, and then the West Indies and India battle in the first match in their T20 series. Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m. in Jamaica, live on Sportsmax. And then the NBA, the 76ers and the Bucks. Thursday, 8 p.m. 9 for the fans outside Jamaica. And those are the big events to come. 2-0 to Arnett Gardens over Vere United as we get ready for this second half. So the situation is clear. For Vere, you think it's almost like damage limitation already, given the severe weakness in their ranks by virtue of the absentees and the youngsters that Donovan Ducky has had to be finding. But Chris, Arnett got 2 goals first half to show for their endeavours.
Yeah, great move by Cephas. Was a menace right throughout the first half, and on this occasion not so predictable, dropping the shoulder, looking like he was going down the left, then cutting in on the right, and a good strike. Steve Clark had been using his pace right throughout the half, and it was a lovely shot. Panton couldn't sort out his hands, and Allen, the young striker coming in for Fabian Reid, showing great awareness up front and putting his body on the line. 2 saves, as you see there, 2 goals, 2 saves by Panton. But yeah, those 2 chances, he might have been a little bit annoyed with himself, considering he didn't do better for the Cephas shot, even though he was unsighted, because he did get a good palm on it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he couldn't put it around the post.
So there's Marlon Allen in, because Arbonne is on the bench and Fabian Reid not in the squad. Damari Deacon not in the squad either. So he gets summoned by coach Paul Teagat Davis, and he's looked lively, looked sharp in the first half, and then he got a goal. His confidence sky high right now. There's the 15-year-old Dunstan Cohen, the Denby schoolboy, who's in this game for Vere United. Tough job at this top level for the youngster, especially with Vere's best seniors not available. He has been thrust into the action, and his coach will be hoping that he continues to show endeavour. Future is bright for Dunstan Cohen. There's Cephas, 3 goals to his name already this season, and the ex-Charlie Smith standout doing the business here. Saw him a couple seasons ago when he first broke into the Premier League. I was watching a few highlights of him last night, and he was slimmer, looked almost lost in the jersey. He is a man now, even though he's only 22 years old. He looks the part, Ronaldo Cephas. And a couple of people after the last Arnett Gardens game we did called me after the game to ask about him. So people are looking at this young man and wondering if there's an opportunity that he can grab hold of outside these shores. Plummer battling with Martin and loses out. Martin needs a pass, tries to flip it over to Cephas, but Graham got in the way. Cunningham now sends it out wide. Salmon wins the duel. Graham cleans up. Swaby outside to Harrison. Harrison and Wright have battled away over on the left side of the Arnett Gardens defence.
And as expected, Wright has done well. We spoke about Wright's competence from a defensive standpoint, better than Johnson. He just hasn't been able to add anything going forward though, right? But I guess they will take that from a Arnett Gardens perspective. A little more solidity in their defence, which has looked shaky at times.
Right down, and the Vere boys won't appreciate that, and I can see why Alton Lewis is upset, because Ronaldo Wright is down on that far side for Arnett Gardens, and Vere were attacking. They were in a promising position. They had 3 men near the ball. They could have played a triangle, and then there was an extra man over at the top, at the edge of the 18-yard box. May have been Swaby, and they were attacking, and the referee called a halt to proceedings so Wright could get treatment. Yeah, that wasn't good by Mason. And he should have called this a lot earlier. It was very obvious what had happened. Yes. To Wright. Very obvious that obviously an arm from Swaby wasn't intentional, but he had a lot of time to stop the play, Christopher Mason. You certainly can't wait until Lamar Neal cuts in with an opportunity to shoot and then blow the whistle. That's poor officiating for me. He's had a good game so far, Christopher Mason, but that was poorly done. Yeah, dodgy moment from the referee. And now, whatever he does now, unless Vere score from it, they'll feel as if it's not the same as what they were building when the referee stopped play. It's a crazy decision there. Neil has it now. Nowhere near there. Salmon puts it into the box. Brown's head goes up, but Gerald Neal got there before him. Kevin Graham puts it back. Coin at the back post, but he somehow missed it. Anyway, he was offside, the young man. Misread the bounce. And by the time he got up for the header, the ball had long gone. It wouldn't have counted anyway. He had straight offside. Wright's first touch isn't clean. And being closed down by Harrison. Swaby comes across to help Harrison. Simpson. It's a big boot in. Still a Vere ball though, it'll be their throw. Neal under pressure from Cunningham. Still Neal, oh, shakes off Cunningham. Wright got in the way of the pass intended for Salmon out wide. Martin. Meanwhile, must be Plummer who's down. In the midfield. Players fighting over whose ball it is. Referee Mason looks as if he's giving the foul to Vere, so it'll be Vere ball. This is what happened. Allen in the challenge with Plummer. And Plummer coming off second best.
Yeah. It was an awkward fall for Plummer. I think he jarred the back with the fall as well. His legs were almost ahead of him. So more pressure on the back.
Graham counselling Alton Lewis about what to do. Really relishing his role as senior man in the team. Well, even when the other senior players are there, Kevin Graham takes a senior role.
Lewis has some making up to do though.
Oh yes, yeah. That was a really poor interception from him. I can't get over it.
The least he could do is provide a good delivery.
Here he is though. Plays it short to Salmon. Can he whip the cross in? That's what the intention is. Oh, Kevin Graham meets the header and sends it high. That was well worked by Vere United from the free kick. Graham found himself right on the edge of the 6-yard box in the right place. But the execution of the header, not good.
And just like we saw in the first half from Earl Simpson, got to do doing better. Was under a bit of pressure, was diving away as well. But should have put that on target. A man of his experience, Graham.
Yeah, slowly.
28 but not 38.
There you go. Slowly was pressuring him. So maybe that attention was off-putting for Kevin Graham. But yeah, a player of his experience really ought to have at least asked William Price a question.
I wondered if he thought that the ball was about to dip more, because the way he positioned his head almost underneath the ball, it could only have gone up. So I don't know if he was expecting a dip, but certainly got it wrong. And we've seen two really good chances at this end. Simpson in the first half and then Graham here, where they should have done better with the heads.
Allen, very lucky not to be booked for that tackle. He left some studs in on Ramon Plummer, who had just turned away from him when he was looking to accelerate away into the dribble. When Allen slid in to make that tackle. Anyway, Plummer is back up and Lewis has this free kick once again. Vere have 5 men in the box, make that 6. Plummer is now going in. Lewis to the back post, offside flag goes up against Trevor's Salmon. Well, actually it's Tyreek Harrison. Salmon was back on the half line trying to police Allen alongside Anjay Gale. Man down in the box for Arnett Guards, looks to be looking for, well, it wasn't Romeo Guthrie, it was Wright. Maybe the head injury. He hasn't shaken that off yet. Looks a bit dazed, Ronaldo Wright.
Yeah, yes he does.
Maybe that forearm smash accidental from Francois Swaby, although Swaby's a wily old character. May have tried to mask. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because to suggest otherwise would be to suggest that he intentionally tried to elbow an opponent. He's not that kind of player, so I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to call it an accident based on what we saw. But that's the reason that Wright is down after that coming together with Swaby, where he took that arm across the face.
And Swaby is naturally taller, so to jump you generally put up your arms to try and get that height. Swaby is taller, so the arm would easily have connected with Wright's head. Just because I'm sure there is at least 5 inches difference between the two in terms of height.
Not sure I've seen Donovan Ducky leave his seat so far in this game, and as if on cue the director goes there. he accepts that he's not playing this game. He's not gambling today with the best deck of cards. And so he doesn't see the need to really be hard on the boys.
And the deck is lacking the jokers.
Yeah, so he's just, you know, taking what comes and trying to encourage. Obviously, he doesn't want to be blown out.
Well, when you look at his bench, there's not much to come off of it.
Yep.
So, as you said, the options really slim for him. I can imagine how he was feeling just from the fact that his captain wouldn't have started, and we spoke about this from last season as well, how nervous he is when Ricardo Campbell is not there, because he really orchestrates things. He's one of the main reasons why Vere United keep so many clean sheets and have such an excellent defensive record. I mean, Lumsden is excellent as well, but it's the leadership of Campbell that really steers things in the right direction.
Ajuma Johnson coming in, number 10 rather, to replace number 3 Ronaldo Wright. So the usual left back gets back onto the pitch. Paul Teagat Davis not feeling he was fit enough to start.
And that's a forced change, because obviously Wright is not doing so well based off after that knock.
Yeah, still down on the stretcher, Ronaldo Wright. Anyway, Johnson beaten to it by Javier Brown. Second time, 2 challenges between both men, and Johnson fouled. So getting involved right away, Javier Brown goes into the book for the aggression in the tackle.
You can see referee Mason saying it's a compilation of challenges over a period of time, pointing to the different spots just to say you've been guilty on so many occasions. Well, I didn't do much wrong there, Brown. Ajuma Johnson actually came across Brown.
Johnson with this free kick. Meanwhile, Ronaldo Wright is still lying on the stretcher over on the far side, being attended to by the medics. There are 5 Arnett Guards men in or around the box. Johnson's free kick. It goes all the way through off the post. Panton was beaten and it hit his post. The referee saw an infringement in all that. This is the free kick once again, and it came off the thigh of Alton Lewis.
I did think I saw a deflection. It was a massive deflection, and well, Lewis nearly added another one to his stack of negative things for today.
Yep. 50-50 challenge between Neil and slowly won it, and Cunningham tries to send Cephas hearing in down that left hand side. Cephas changes gear, blows by someone, still Cephas trying to pass it to Guthrie with another chance. It's blocked. Cephas off the floor, and he kicks and misses. A fresh year shot by the Arnett Gardens forward. Meanwhile, a man is down injured in the box for Vere United. Looks like Andre Gale.
Gale with a block, so certainly would have felt all of that in that sensitive area, as we would say, just below the abdomen. But yeah, Cephas injured himself as well with the wild kick.
This was a smashing pass from Cunningham from the back to get him in, and look at this change of pace. Gone. Someone did well though, because he came back to tackle, which caused Cephas to fall, and then he got up and kicked fresh air.
Yeah, the ball was actually close to his right foot, looked to kick with his left, and he looked like he might have injured himself as well with a fresh air. Did well, Cephas, because when he did come under pressure, realized the shot wasn't on and tried to play the pass for Guthrie, which he did. Guthrie just unable to get through the defensive wall of Vere.
And Jay Gale back on his feet, the number 13 for Vere. Just a few gingerly steps, but now back walking normally. So they've left the playing area with poor old Ronaldo Wright. Gerald Neal in possession for Arnett Gardens. They have that 2-0 cushion. Lovely first touch by Allen. Goes down under the challenge from Kevin Graham. Free kick.
Not the greatest challenge from Graham, and it's in a dangerous area as well. The most experience of this back line for Vere United. Allen actually wasn't threatening the goal. He could have just shielded him and ensured that he didn't turn. Now an opportunity to put something on target. As we see some of the substitutes. It's going to be a struggle for Donovan Duckey this season. When you look at his squad list, you look at his bench, he just doesn't have the depth. Line, what, 9th in the table currently. And yeah.
The one team that can't afford to lose any first teamers is without about 6 or 7 of them. Anyway, Guthrie lines up this free kick for Arnett Gardens. The skipper fires goalwards! And it required a save from young Panton. It's behind for a corner.
Good save, Panton. The Arnett Gardens captain with good pace behind that kick. It was reasonably comfortable for Panton.
Johnson with the corner, or the short corner, and Simpson missed the header. Put back in by Cunningham, flashed away by Kevin Gray with the defensive header. Johnson thought about the shot. Still Johnson, Ajuma Johnson on the challenge, and he's adjudged to have fouled his way through, and referee Mason penalises him for that.
2 excellent deliveries into the box from Arnett Gardens, one from either side. This was the first one, excellent. Simpson should have done better yet again. And then this beautiful delivery into the box. That would have found Simpson had it not been defended like that by Graham.
Yeah, there goes Cephas again, running across, stopped by a combination of Graham and Salmon.
That was a free kick from Guthrie, just wide.
Yep.
Probably was going to be just wide in the end as well, but Panton once again not taking any chances. The Arnett Gardens captain started the game very brightly with his passing within the middle of the field, which is what we want to see more of him from, more.
Nice touch by Harrison, but he can't get around Martin on the touchline. Cunningham back to Neil. Here's slowly. Forward to Clark. Has space to run into. Goes for the pass. Shot from Marlon Martin though, but he didn't kick it cleanly. He was scuffed. Kicked it into the turf somewhat. Rolls away wide. Harmless in the end. Two Marlons on the pitch for Arnett Gardens. Martin and Allen. Allen, a goal scorer in the first half. Martin getting through a lot of work in the midfield. Salmon has come out second best in most of his duels with Ronaldo Cephas, the left back for Vere. Here's Kevin Graham though in the back. Will he go long? On the floor. Can't find a teammate. Marlon Martin now for Arnett Gardens. Steve Clark wanted played wide. Pass doesn't come. Guthrie. Now Steve Clark gets it slowly on the overlap. Clark inside. And the pass outside is poor. Just a toe poke when it needed a firm connection. It's a goal kick to Vere.
Clark was given the avenue towards goal, the diagonal run. Not sure why he went back outside looking for slowly. Should have looked to use some skill and find a player maybe on the edge of the box or have a shot.
Yep.
Was on his right foot.
Our cameraman Michael Tingle couldn't control that pass, but he could bend on his knee to present Valentine's flowers. You know where his talent lies, the Rasta man. Neil to slowly. Simpson calls for it, gets it. Johnson. Martin.
Come on, Vere, man. Come on, Vere. Come on, Vere, man. Look at that, man. Come on, Vere.
Simpson to his goalkeeper Price. Neil has had a comfortable afternoon. Gerald Neil in the back for Arnett Gardens, and young Cohen intercepted his pass though intended for Steve Clark. Vere are going to make 2 changes. We're in the 63rd minute. And 2 more young men about to enter the fray. Matthew Ellis and Nicholas Robinson. This is Plummer for Vere. Lewis fires it forward. Simpson versus Swaby. Big boot from Simpson. Slowly gets it further forward for Arnett. Brown got an inadvertent touch, and now Cephas runs away from someone bursting into the box. The touch was a little bit too heavy. And Panton had come far enough forward to be able to just snatch that off the boot of the Arnett Garden striker. Lamar Neal trying to play in Salmon and Harrison. All a bit too tight down that right hand side. And Gale in the back for Vere. Neal in midfield to Brown. Cephas has a problem with the right thigh. Had a look at it just now, had a grab as well. Swaby with the header near post! And Swaby has found a goal for Vere United, almost out of nothing from the Vere United frontman. At his near post, William Price beaten. Just a deft touch by the veteran, and he bags it for Coach Donovan Ducky. It's 2-1. The game not over yet.
Those are the kind of chances that Francois Swaby thrives on. 93 goals now in his Premier League career. Look at this, out of nothing. We spoke about this 2 weeks ago. Just float the ball into the box, allow Francois Swaby to attack it. Lovely delivery into the box. Francois Swaby, the only player there, and he finds a way. And that's what 242 matches of experience can do.
So Trevor Salmon with the big pass forward. And Swaby standing between two defenders. Just a deft touch. Wasn't looking for power. More direction than anything else, and he found the direction.
If they can find him, he will always cause trouble, because there's uncertainty in the back between Neal and Simpson. And quite a few occasions allowing the ball to bounce, which is always dangerous, and then clearing. Lack of communication as to who should go to the ball, and as you could see it there, Francois Swaby making the most. Vere have had nothing going forward at all. Just like that. Arnett Gardens with numerous opportunities to add to their tally. They have hit the upright in the second half. Ronaldo Cephas has caused lots of problems. He has had two opportunities with maybe a better touch, a better final touch would have added a second to the game for him and a third for Arnett, but it just hasn't happened.
Yep. Dunstan Cohen is off for Vere United, being replaced by Nicholas Robinson. So Ducky was going to make two changes before the goal, but he held back one after Swaby scored, and he's only made one change. Salmon again with a big cross, and this time Gerald Neal wins the ball, and he needed to have won it because Swaby was lurking behind him, and Swaby applauds the pass again from Trevor Salmon. Water break. Kevin Graham telling the Vere United boys to gather urgently because they need to talk, because he senses a path back into this game. So just before Swaby struck for Vere United, Donovan Ducky had two youngsters waiting to come on. Immediately after Swaby struck, he called one back, held one back, and just inserted Nicholas Robinson at the expense of Dunstan Cohen.
So that second change might very well have been Swaby. And then seeing something like that, because there was really nothing going for Swaby in the entire 63 minutes leading up to that goal. Doing his usual, running the lines and so on, but the supply just wasn't there, and Lamar Neal wasn't seeing enough of the ball, and you know that is where the chemistry lies generally between the spine, in the spine for Vere United. But as I said, Salmon obviously all of a sudden realizing that he needs to get more balls into the box, and the two deliveries have been excellent.
Yep.
That attempt, which actually was cleared by Arnett Gardens, if you actually watch it, Francois Swaby prepared and made the header just in case it would have come to him.
Yep. So the three goals we've seen so far: 35th minute, Cephas, shooting and unsighted was Panton. Saw it late. That was 1-0, and then bad, very, very bad from Alton Lewis. Steve Clark, powerful shot, and the goalkeeper only helping it into the path of Marlon Allen. And then look at this, look at Salmon, look at this pass, and look where Swaby is between two defenders, Earl Simpson and Gerald Neal. The filling for the sandwich Swaby was, and he found the net via the near post of William Price. A deft header for 2-1.
And that was from almost 12 yards out, almost a penalty spot. So clinical header by Francois Swaby. Pace, the direction of the header. And it was towards the side of the goal where Price was, towards his near post. He might have been disappointed that he wasn't able to get a strong left hand on it and maybe help it around. But I think the dip just in front of him made it very difficult. And the pace that Swaby generated from the cross, he still had a lot of work to do.
Ducky in conversation with Jermaine Teddy Johnson, the ex-Jamaica international. And Tivoli star, MVP, Premier League champion, and now Tivoli assistant coach. Salmon with this corner, near post, and big boot by Gerald Neal to get it out, and Steve Clark sends it further forward. Can Allen keep it in? He can't. So Vere have a second wind. They were struggling uphill with a bag of cement in a knapsack on their backs, but no, the bag is half empty and they feel a bit stronger running into the breeze uphill. Martin back to Simpson. White. This is Javier Brown back to Ramon Plummer. Swaby. Good feet to get out of a tight spot. Salmon. Couldn't flick it forward. Guthrie. Forward to Cephas. Trying to nudge it around Kevin Graham, but Graham leaves his big frame in the way. Cephas felt that.
His speed is unbelievable, Ronaldo Cephas. Without the ball, with the ball, real talent. Nice young man as well. Had a couple interviews when he was as a schoolboy at Charlie Smith with him and his ambitions of moving forward and one day applying his trade overseas. Lots of ambition to him. Very talented player.
Cunningham out the back. Cephas, Guthrie controlled the ball, but then it came off his arm. Immediately the cries came up from the Vere United boys to alert the referee to the handball, and they've succeeded in winning this free kick just inside their half that the designated free kick taker Lewis takes charge of. Graham now goes long to Lamard Neal. Oh, he was trying to flick that through to Swaby, but the connection he made was too strong. Pour from slowly with Steve Clark in front of him. Clark hisses his teeth and turns away in disgust. Lewis to Neal. Plummer. Poor pass from Plummer. Big toe for now. Mr. Jet Heels goes hunting once again Cephas. To his captain Guthrie. Guthrie wanted to flick it outside to Steve Clark or to Allen. Pass misdirected in the end. In the 72nd minute of a contest that was flat for some parts of the first half, even though Arnett Garns dominated, but their passing wasn't the best. But then this man on the ball brought the game alive. Can he do so again? It was a blocked effort. The blocker, Kevin Graham. Good speed by young Harrison. He got away from Cephas, who had a little nibble. Will the referee book him, is the question. Yes, he will. Cephas trying to help out in defense there. And young Harrison really showed a good turn of pace to get away from Ronaldo Cephas, who... So this is the sprint. Harrison going. Cephas trying to get to him, but Harrison still driving forward. And yeah, that's a free kick. That's a yellow card as well.
Good work by Harrison. Cephas just feeling that hamstring, is it, yet again. Thigh has been giving him some trouble since the first half. There, looks like left thigh. Cephas. Arnett Gardens have been guilty of conceding goals late in the second half, so that is something that will build some confidence with Vere United. Don't keep their concentration right through the 90 minutes, Arnett Gardens, especially defensively, and it has cost them so far. We think of the Humble Lion game where they conceded late. They also conceded against, was it Cavalier?
In the very first game of the season. They had a point and then they let the point slip, lost all 3 in that first game because of that late game lapse. Robinson fouled by Gerald Neal. And it's a free kick in a dangerous position for Vere United. Arnett preparing a substitution. We'll tell you about that. I'll tell you more about that shortly. For now, Price trying to organize his wall to thwart this free kick. Salmon is there. Well, Neil is there. Lewis is there. Everybody else has left it alone.
Lewis wants it, but I don't think he's going to win the battle. This is going to be Neil.
Yeah.
27 yards out.
Can Neil score against his old team? Lamar Neil. Just counting out his spaces. 3, 4. A little shuffle. He's going direct for goal. Lamar Neil! Harmless in the end. So number 27 is coming out for Arnett Gardens, Steve Clark. The man whose shot was spilt and created the chance for the second goal to be scored by Allen. When the ball goes dead, he'll be given a rest by coach Paul Teagat Davis. Trevor and Salmon flashing the elbows there at Ronaldo Cephas.
Lucky to get away with that.
Cephas complaining to the referee. But Salmon will be feeling confident because he's been bossed by Cephas all game. But guess what? He's come up with an assist. And then another very good cross after that assist. So his confidence is back as we look at Paul Teagat Davis rallying the troops. Once again, number 18 comes in, Shadane Lopez for Arnett Gardens, replacing Steve Clark. Kimani Arbonne is getting stripped as well. So Arnett having some reinforcements, looking to add some reinforcements to the game. That man is going to come in shortly. Lopez is already on. Still Lamar Neal for Vere. Alton Lewis forward to Robbins. Robbins has a lot of running to do. Gets there before slowly. Needs help. Needs support. To Neal. Good pass back to Lewis. Plummer has some time. Plummer goes for the shot. It's not what Vere wanted him to do. And Coach Donovan Ducky lets him know that that was the wrong option.
Yeah, really low percentage from Plummer. Didn't set up well. Never got the venom behind it at all. Technique wasn't that great. And lack of concentration there for Plummer. Especially when you're looking to get another goal to get back into this game. You just want higher percentage opportunities.
Juma Johnson away from Harrison. Forward to Guthrie. Then Martin robbed by Javere Brown. Good hunting done by the captain. Now Harrison goes free for Vere. Lamar Neal gives it away to Simpson though. And Arnett can come away. Kevin Graham slides in. Getting there before Cephas did. Allen. Lovely turn by Marlon Allen. Into the space for the new man Lopez. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Shadane Lopez on the left foot. He has it. Still Lopez. And Anjay Gale blocked him. Lopez. To attack his man, but he comes back to slowly.
I don't think he has got the pace of the game yet.
No, that's obvious.
Yeah, not warm.
Lopez once again.
Quite
gives it away, yeah. Slowly wins it back for Arnett Gardens though, under pressure. To Lopez now.
Title win at the schoolboy level with Jamaica College, Shadane Lopez.
And yeah, he really is not to the pace of the game. Has had several touches in about a minute and a half and hasn't looked as if he knows what he wants to do with the ball. We're sure he's a good player, so it must be that he's not yet caught the pace of the game, as Chris said.
Had two really good opportunities to go one-on-one against the left back likes of Lewis, who has not had the greatest game either. So he is the kind of player that you would want to run at, but didn't make full use of it. But this man certainly will.
Cephas being urged to take him on, doesn't need any invitation, runs away from Salmon once again and cuts him. The cross comes in and took a little deflection, did it? And Cephas goes down, obviously troubled by what seems to be a thigh strain. And he's down there on the floor. The referee had a look at him but allows the play to continue. This is Shadane Lopez for Arnett Gardens. Robinson wins possession for Vere. Oh, and it's a poor pass by the youngster. Swaby had pulled wide and come a little bit short for the shorter pass.
Shake of the head by the 33-year-old.
And Swaby agreeing with our cameraman who shouted at him that it looks as if they wanted to run. And Swaby saying, yes, that's the only thing they want me to do, to run. I thought it was a thigh, but for Cephas it looks to be the right ankle or the heel that's causing him some problem.
When you're running at that speed, you'll have all kinds of complications as you start to get tired. It was the thigh at one point. Yeah.
So Javier Brown, the captain, having a go at Alton Lewis. They're having that, let's call it a discussion. Meanwhile, Tiga Davis having a discussion with Shadane Lopez, asking him, why aren't you taking your man on? Just blow by, just go.
I think that would be it for Cephas as well. Kimani Arboin, I'm sure, will be introduced. A player with maybe not the same level of finishing, but certainly the level of pace and work ethic. Arboin. Oh yes, there he is.
Well, I can tell you, Chris, Arboin, of course, is a rapid fellow.
Yes, definitely.
I don't think he's as fast as the number 7, with or without the ball.
No, not as fast, but he's fast.
Yeah, that's for
and
sure.
Certainly against 80-minute legs, yes.
The fact is, the Arnett Gardens forwards are very quick. Deacon Davis has an embarrassment of riches where that is concerned. Finishing, they all could do better in front of goal, all of them. But Arboin will feel, especially that the positions that he has played himself in or found himself in, he has not done as well as he ought to have with finishing, but he gets a chance to score another goal. Has scored a cracker already this season, a goal of the season candidate, and he's on to see if he can get goal number 2. There's Ronaldo Cephas. It's the right ankle that seems to be bothering him. Let's hope he's fine for the next game. So we're in the 82nd minute. Into the 82nd minute we are, and the game just got a bit scrappy for the last 7 or so minutes.
This man Allen has played very well.
Oh yes, over the top for Guthrie. Keeper came and stopped. This is Romeo Guthrie. Needs support. Oh, he finds Kimani Arboin, but Alton Lewis had come across to cover. Looked across at the assistant referee on this near side, Alton Lewis, wondering why there was no offside flag. But that's not your job.
First touch let you down, Romeo. Certainly was in. Had the first touch been good, you'd have probably been able to have released. What was that was running? Allen earlier, or Lopez. The first touch wasn't good, so it took him away from goal, and then the chance was lost.
Corner will be taken by there's no ball on the park, and now there are 2 balls out there. So Guthrie waiting on one. It's being ferried across to him. Arnett only committing 4 men to the box for this corner kick. Cunningham set to join them late though, so it's now 5. Guthrie's corner to the back post where there's nobody in a black and red shirt. And the Swede just allows it to run outside for a throw to Vere United. So 83rd minute, can Donovan look his short-handed team. Short-handed not in terms of the number of men on the park, but in terms of the number of senior players who are not in the squad today. Robinson, fouled by Guthrie. Lewis now to Anjay Gale. Vere have to hurry if they want to take something from the game. Graham goes for the long ball. Route one stuff from Kevin Graham. Can he pick out Trevor and Salmon? Yes, he can. And Arboin was tracking him and did very, very well defensively for his team, Kimani Arboin. Allen for Arnett Gardens. Cuts inside Salmon. Trying to find Arboin, but Lewis cleared. Simpson under pressure. All the way back to his goalkeeper, William Price. Back to Simpson. Johnson. Arboin now has some space to work with. Look at Tyreek Harrison running back to race at him. And very good play from the young man. Was in the attacking phase but read the danger and actually absolutely sprinted back to ensure that Kimani Arboin did not get a free run through into the 18-yard box. And the pressure from Harrison was enough to cause the play to break down for Arnett Gardens. Vere will end this game still playing one match short relative to the rest of the Premier League teams, but most of them at least, because their game against Tivoli Gardens in the last match week was postponed, and so they will have that fixture to play at a time to be announced. Meanwhile, Salmon puts this one in early once again. It's met by Slowly. Javier Brown wins it. This is Lewis. Lewis for the shot. And Price watched it all the way, pulled his arms away at the last minute, never needed to make an intervention, and it's a goal kick. Paul Teagat-Davis hasn't taken a rest, hasn't sat down, well, hasn't sat all game. A contrast with Donovan Lucky, who hasn't stood all game except at the water breaks to talk to his team. So both coaches, differing emotions on the bench. Teagat-Davis anxious, feels that this is a game they should win. And by standing under barking orders, he's driving his team forward from the sidelines. Lucky knows that his young team is giving their best, and if they're making mistakes, it's because they can't help it. So just content to watch them play. The Vere boys want the throw, but it's an Arnett Gardens. And Alton Lewis having a go at the assistant referee on this near side. Needs to be careful. Some of his language not complimentary at all. Lopez to Slowly. Allen off the chest, exchanges passes with Guthrie, but it's given away. Anjay Gale breaks out of defense. This is Neil. Swaby on the run. Swaby gets possession now. Cross to Anjay Gale, would continue his run, but he needs help. Gale. Salmon wanted to cross first time, but his body wasn't set right. It runs all the way through to William Price in goal for the Junglists, the 5-time Premier League champions, who are already much better this season than they were last year. 10 games last year, they only scored 8 goals. Unbelievable. Never before in an Arnett Gardens history of the participation of Arnett in the Premier League have they gone a 10-game stretch scoring 8 goals. That's what happened last year. They already looked much better than that. Neil gets it from Lewis. Can't play the 1-2 though. Cunningham to Arboin. Walks around Javier Brown and frees Shadeen Lopez now, but the pass is poor. Slaps his thigh in frustration, Kimani Arboin, realizing that he messed that up. That was a counter-attack that should still be continuing now as we speak.
Yeah, disappointing after his hard work. He's a tireless worker though, Kimani Arboin. Another of those players coming out of the Charlie Smith system in high school, which is right across the road.
Aled's cross into the path of Lopez. Well, no, it didn't get so far because goalkeeper Panton was there to intercept. Salmon over in that right back position for Vere, just stopped, bent over double, trying to catch his breath. It's been hard work for Trevor and Salmon, spending all afternoon chasing Ronaldo Cephas. Holding both hips, Trevor and Salmon, still trying to catch his breath. As Javier Brown runs into a promising position. Can he find the cross is the million-dollar question. The cross comes in, but poor. And William Price gathers at his near post.
William Price looked like he wouldn't mind taking a nap on the ball there and letting these 5 minutes elapse.
Yep, almost as if he was hugging his Valentine. This is Guthrie. Back to Johnson for the Arnett Gardens team. Have been to the Premier League final 9 times.
I was just saying to you, don't get your friend Tingle started.
Poor from Arnett Gardens, and this is the late game jitters we're talking about, not concentrating, under no pressure, and the ball passed into touch for a throw. They've won the ball back though. Tiga Davis just turned away in disgust, their coach, because familiar frailties emerging once again. Giveaway by Allen.
They've given up 4 points from these kind of positions thus far in the season, and we're only in match week 5.
Panton gathers.
We're leading Humble Lion by 2-1, then gave up that goal late on. It was a 2-2 draw in the end, and then, as you said, had a draw against Cavalier, and then
they lost. They drew 1-1 after they lost that opening game
2-1, so they gave up 2 points.
Yeah, Willis's equalizer meant they were holding on to a point, and then they lost all 3 with that late Shanil Thomas goal. So yeah, they've been bad where that is concerned. 2-1 is the lead. Vere must know that Arnett Gardens are there for the taking at this stage of games. They must keep pressing Donovan Ducky's boys. Change going to be made by Vere. Number 4 is coming in, and number 8, a second half substitute, is coming out. So the second half substitute, Nicholas Robinson, is himself substituted. So Donovan Ducky in his best Jose Mourinho moment. So Nicholas Robinson couldn't have spent more than 20 minutes on the park. He's not injured.
And he still hasn't been replaced.
Wow. Lewis, forward. Can Price gather? He does under pressure though from Ramon Plummer, but easy take for the Arnett Gardens custodian in the end. Vere down to 10 men. This is the Juma Johnson for Arnett Gardens. The Junglists have numbers forward. Arboin now to Guthrie, has some time. Oh, lovely pass to Allen. Allen! The tackle from Kevin Graham. Allen felt he was fouled, but no infringement, says the referee.
I would love to see that again. I might be actually on Allen's side. That was a challenge from behind, which usually means that you make contact with the player first, the attacker first before the ball. And wow, Allen has had a really good game, the number 30. Brought in for Fabian Reid. Here's that opportunity. Lovely first touch. Yeah, definitely contact with his left foot before the ball. It was by Graham. Let's see it here. Here's no...
yeah, I would have given that though. It was on time, but yeah,
I don't think Mason had the best view either. He was a bit masked from the players, and probably did a smart thing in leaving that alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't have given that. So the question: can Arnett see out this game? The other question: can Vere pinch something from a game where they've been second best in for much of the contest? Man down for Vere and needing treatment. So there's Nicholas Robinson. Came on in the second half and withdrawn in the second half with his team chasing the game. So a chastening afternoon for the young man. And there's his replacement, number 15, Matthew Ellis. A 15-year-old, and you can see that evident on his face that he's but a lad. And he was under the care of Dookie when Dookie was in charge of Charlemont High in the Da Costa Cup. There's another 15-year-old, Dunstan Cohen, the Denby schoolboy who started this game, came off in the second half. In fact, Robinson came on in the 64th minute to replace Cohen and was replaced in the 90th minute. Here's Kevin Graham's free kick. Doesn't go far enough. Neil through a crowd of players. Price watched it every way, all the way, and allowed it to run behind for a goal kick. We're in into the 94th minute we are. Arnett Gardens have let points drop from this position before. Vere should know this. Johnson for Arnett Gardens, and he runs out for a throw. Wow. Lack of concentration there from Ajuma Johnson. Arborn runs back though to help out in defence, and Cunningham has it for Arnett Gardens. Chris Taylor is picking our man of the match today. This is Guthrie. Slips it through to Allen. That was the idea anyway, but the execution was poor. The pass was poor from the captain. A few times Guthrie has been in that position and he hasn't found the right pass. Simpson told to shield, and that he did, easing the 15-year-old Matthew Ennis off.
Two contenders, George, for the man of the match. Marlon Allen would be one. The number 30 has had a really good game, has scored as well, hit the crossbar in the first half and it's coming well. But Ronaldo Cephas, with his work over 80-odd minutes, excellent as well. The Arnett Gardens number 7, and I think he would probably just sneak it for me in terms of his quality. Alright, so full time into this game, the penultimate game of match week 5 in the Jamaica Premier League. Arnett Gardens getting goals, 2 in the first half from Ronaldo Cephas and Marlon Allen, beating Vere United 2-1. Francois Swaby replying for Vere, but it wasn't enough from the Clarendon team, who are severely short-handed, several senior players unavailable, a team of lads, of babes that Donovan Dookie has to marshal, and they couldn't get the job done this afternoon. Paul Teagat Davis can offer congratulations all around. A case of 3 points, the mission accomplished. Arnett Gardens have those 3 points. 2-1 the final score here in this game. Cephas falling, and then this was the moment. Cephas picks it up wide. Kevin Graham goes to confront him, chops one way, chops another way, chops Sui, and the curling shot. The goalkeeper Panton was unsighted by the Arnett Gardens forward Allen, standing in his line of sight, and by the time Allen just shifted slightly, the ball had already gone, and the goalkeeper not in a position to get a stronger hand to it. That was Cephas' goal, his 3rd of the season. Arnett Gardens 1-0, and then Guthrie plays a pass from deep in his own half. Poor attempt by Alton Lewis to control it. It runs through to Steve Clark, whose powerful shot is only blocked into the path of Allen, and it required a flying nod from the replacement striker, making good connection. That was 2-0. Juma Johnson firing this one in. It came off the thigh of Lewis and off the left upright. And then look at this. Javier Brown will find Salmon. Has some time, has a lot of time actually. Look at what he does. Fires it in, and Swabe is standing between 2 Arnett Gardens centre halves and beating William Price low to his left.
with this header. A striker's finish. Only the pure strikers can score headers like that. And Swaby got his connection right. Christopher Mason calling a halt to proceedings after about 94 minutes of action. The numbers: 21 shots overall. There were 11 shots on target, 7 of them by Arnett Gardens, 12 fouls, 4 yellow cards, 3 to Arnett Gardens players, 7 corners, and Arnett Gardens had 53% possession in the game. Chris Taylor has our man of the match.
So the Sportsmax app moment is actually the goal of Ronaldo Cephas, who now joins me. Ronaldo, how happy are you with your performance here today?
I'm feeling so happy about my performance.
Talk to me about that goal. What was going through your mind? Before we saw you constantly going down the flank and looking to cut towards the goal line. This time cutting inside onto the right boot. Just take me through the play.
Yeah, on my games that, so we just keep on running the defender over and over. So if I can get like what would I say? I get like, we just keep on running him and just cut inside.
Putting him off balance all the time.
Yeah.
And the shot towards the far post, is that what you intended as well?
Yeah, training, keep doing it in training, so just come and do it here.
3 goals on the season so far. Have you set a goal for yourself for this season in terms of the amount of goals you want to score, or it's all about the team performance? And
yeah, it's all about the team performance. All about the team performance.
All right, excellent stuff. Congrats to you, and all the best for the next games.
Yeah, thank you.
For the next game. Ronaldo Cephas there, our man of the match, player of the match, with his 3rd goal of the season. I'm now joined by head coach of Vere United, Donovan Duque. Donovan, a frustrating afternoon for you. We saw you sitting on the bench. Things not going according to plan.
Yeah, well, it's a reality of what is happening. We have lost 7 to 8 of our main players due to administrative reasons. The philosophy still remains the same, technically and tactically for us, but personnels have changed, so the objective will definitely change somewhat. We would say that we cannot say we're in it to win it at this stage. We want to develop some players now. We have a long roster of school players that are coming through the rank. Probably we created history today when we played Dunstan at 15 years old. So I was very proud of them. In the first half, we were a little bit tentative. In the second half, we went high press and it paid dividend for us.
You have a quality man up front in Francois Swaby, a man who scored over 90 goals so far. He showed what he could do when the delivery was right in the second half, but it took you a long time to get those right, and it's been a struggle for you this season in terms of getting Francois Swaby in the best positions to score.
Yes, definitely. If you look back at last season, we created a solid foundation defensively from a block and we played in transition. We never had much this season, and we tried our best, and we're a little bit depleted now, but with time, with some more experience with these players, they'll definitely get it right.
One more question for you. I know you're quite miserable when the likes of Ricardo Campbell is not in the starting lineup. How big of a deal is that your main captain is not there?
It's a big blow for us. Today we had 2 of our midfield choices in centre-back that started the game against Mount Pleasant. We had to make some adjustment. We played about 4 or 5 under 18 players today that are still in school. So it's a big blow for